The offensive line is so bad. It's horrible. It's horrendous. And it's one reason why the Niners probably can't go and sign someone like Sam Darnold, because a big reason Darnold's playing well in Minnesota is that they have a good offensive line and he has time. Here, he wouldn't, because they're down to their third string left tackle. Trent Williams has an ankle injury and done for the year. Who knows if he'll ever play, more than half of a season ever again. Hard to say. Left guard Aaron Banks tore his MCL in this game, may never play another game with the 49ers. Wasn't particularly good when he was out there. Jake Brendel, center, might be the worst player on the team. Worst starter. Right guard Dominic Purdy, pretty good. We'll see what he does in his second year. And right tackle Colton McKivitz, he's okay. So, would you like a better right tackle than Colton McKivitz? Of course. But right now, it's funny, the right side of the offensive line was always the biggest problem. Right now, Purdy and McKivitz, both guys are earning their contract. They're okay. The left guard, he's gone. The center needs to go. And the left tackle may never return. Who knows? This offensive line is a joke. And it needs to be the number one priority of the team this offseason to fix this. They could make a change at quarterback or not. They could bring back Brock Purdy. Whoever is playing quarterback on this team is going to struggle next year behind this group. And they only have themselves to blame with this because they've been neglecting the offensive line the entire time Kyle Shanahan's been a head coach here. That's where he wants to save money. He wants to spend on everything else. I mean, he really spent a first-round pick this year on a wide receiver who's 24 and doesn't know how to line up, even though they needed an offensive lineman. Can we talk about the Ricky Pearsall pick for a second? I know it's supposed to be the offensive line section. I mean, they're bad. We know they got to really invest in it, and they don't really do that. Ricky Pearsall, man. Like, yeah, he missed training camp. He got shot. We don't expect him to be taking over games, but like, you can't have 2 illegal formation penalties in a season, let alone on the same drive. You should know this stuff. You've been here long enough. Like, even though you weren't on the field in training camp, these are things you learn in meetings. The Niners can't draft in round 1. They don't address the offensive line. They don't have a quarterback. Their offense is in a downward spiral. They just committed 11 penalties. The kicker sucks. But everything's going to be okay next year, guys. Don't overreact. In fact, don't react at all. Just do everything the same next year and hope, believe, expect that things will be better. What's funny is I think maybe the Niners, I don't know what the Yorks want to do. Maybe they want to leave that as an option for them. Do nothing. Give Kyle another chance. But this loss was embarrassing. The loss last week was embarrassing. Buffalo was humiliating. Green Bay was humiliating. And there's 2 games left. What if the next 2 losses are even more humiliating? Like, how do you not keep asking yourself the question, why is this going to get better? How is this going to get better? Here's a spoiler. It's not going to get better. The Niners are screwed. They're old. They're banged up. They're going to be banged up. And it looks to me like they're finally seeing Kyle Shanahan for who he is. Fred doesn't want to talk big picture. I'll talk big picture. This team needs to start over. And that starts with the quarterback and the head coach. Might be bleak, but what's even more bleak is if you commit to 2 guys and then, oops, you realize you shouldn't have. Be honest with yourself. Mike Partridge says you blame Brock Purdy with half the D-line injured. The D-line? Yeah, I'm blaming him. Nathan says the other YouTuber Lombardi says that if you think it's Brock's fault, you know nothing about football and their loss has nothing to do with Purdy. You know, it's funny. He's having a bad year. Talk about people having a bad year. Kyle, Brock, him. And he's having a bad year because he didn't see any of this coming. He was being very smug the whole season. When they were like 5-6 or something, he was comparing them to the 1988 Niners, like he was even alive for that freaking stuff. And so he's been so wrong. Instead of like doubling down on his narratives, he just forgot them all. And the only thing he can cling to is Brock Purdy's better than people say he is. Like, no, he's not. And that's all you got. Do you guys like being gaslit like that? You watch this quarterback play awful, and then you have someone go on YouTube and say, he wasn't that bad. Like, yeah, he was. I saw. I was watching the whole game. And I know more about football than you. Rafael Flores says, I love Brock, but he hasn't earned a top 10 contract. We need a contingency plan at quarterback for sure. We need a proven O-lineman and wide receivers for this offense to shine next year. Okay, so you need a contingency plan at quarterback, another quarterback, proven O-lineman, and more wide receivers. So they need everything but a tight end. I would argue they need another running back too. Other than that, I think they're set. Spider369 says, haven't seen any player defend Brock like Jimmy. That is true. This team freaking loved Jimmy. They love Jimmy more than they love. Is it fair to say they love him more than they love Brock? I don't know. Is it fair to say they love Jimmy more than they love Kyle? I don't know. Do you think Jimmy pops a bottle of champagne every time the Niners lose? Is that too petty? Jimmy. Just an idea. Aru Illustri says, don't pay Brock. Hidden gem quarterbacks like Darnold and Mayfield show quarterbacks need 6+ years of bouncing around to get it. Focus on O-line. Interesting. All day, every day, Kim says, oh, he has a chart that says Brock's elite. The guy is like searching for some advanced statistic that will tell him what he wants. He's on like the black market of advanced statistics. Like, all right, man, who's got something that says that Brock Purdy's good? Because I'm looking at this PFF's grades. I'm looking at his passer rating, his completion rate. That's all bad. Who's got something on the dark web, on the black market that indicates that he's good? He's that down bad. But, seems like he'll find it. You know what's funny? On the road, I don't think the PR staff likes me. Maybe they do. And I think they try to troll me because I think they see me as a troll, even though I'm not. They lose, I talk about it. So you know who they sit me next to on the road? Like every time? Yep, Lombardi. Sucks. To sit there next to him. It is kind of funny, though, to feel his heart sink when the Niners start losing. That's hilarious to me. But yeah, I wish they wouldn't sit me next to him. Kind of makes my skin crawl. I don't know why. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? But it's like, is it really a coincidence that I have to sit next to him on every road trip, every time? I don't think so. If you guys were the PR staff and you were making out the seating chart, would you do the same thing? I probably would do the same thing too, actually. It's kind of funny. I bet you they look at me too and like, look, they're sitting next to each other. They're ignoring each other. Yeah, I'm ignoring them. Someone says maybe start farting. Yeah, just fart uncontrollably, like loud. That's kind of uncouth though. I feel like that would be unprofessional. Appalled at Kyle Shanahan's treatment of players. Dre, Mason, McCaffrey, Elijah Mitchell. Yeah, I'm with you on that one, Mike.